Welcome to Shiprocket Fulfillment webinar. I'll quickly introduce myself. I'm Ranu. I take care of the business side at Shiprocket Fulfillment. And along with me, I have Nimit.
Hi everyone, very good afternoon.
Who is an expert for fulfillment queries. So, quickly moving to, guys, e-commerce is an ever-changing landscape where brands are constantly exploring different ways to get customer acquisition and experience absolutely right. At the heart of the buyer experience lies the order, which is, if not done right, can lead to extremely bad satisfaction. So what we at Shiprocket do is that we try to provide higher customer satisfaction by getting higher conversion rates. So team, day in, day out, we interact with a lot of clients, a lot of sellers. We have understand their pain points. In-house operations run karna hai, outsource karna hai, how do we go about it? Am I losing control over my process? So as a team, we decided that let's go a webinar in which we answer not the typical format of Q&A sessions, but let's go in a role play manner. So what I and Nimit have thought is that I'll be the seller and Nimit is going to be the fulfillment expert, and we pose questions to Nimit and we should make sure that he answers it absolutely correct. Nevertheless, I would also like to add upon that there's a Q&A chat box already opened. Feel free to post any number of questions. I and Nimit are here to answer them. So, Nimit, first of all, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. I know your travel schedule is absolutely packed and I made it change. So thank you so much for it. So, guys, we're quickly going forward with the questions. Nimit, बहुत basic question है मेरा. What is fulfillment? What is warehousing? What is this go downs and fulfillment? We've been hearing since childhood and go down.
Right.
So what is it?
Right. So essentially, as you guys know, that fulfillment as a term came into a lot of news and probably in everyone's knowledge roughly about 2-3 years back, right? Essentially, while there were a lot of players who were doing this for quite some time, but since COVID has been a blessing in disguise for the entire e-commerce, right? A lot of requirement around fulfillment came in place. There's a very thin line difference between a warehouse and a fulfillment, right? Warehouse एक जगह है जहाँ पे आप bulk में अपना सामान store करते हैं, right?
Okay.
Wherein the movement is not happening as quickly as often as it happens in a fulfillment network sector. In Hindi, you can call a warehouse as a godown, जहाँ पे आपका एक distributor या super stockist आके inventory hold करता है. Whereas the fulfillment is a place जहाँ पे आप अपनी needs के हिसाब से 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks की inventory आप replenish करके उसको regular intervals में dispatch करते हैं.
अच्छा, okay.
So primarily B2B side पे it's called a warehousing service.
Can you explain me what is B2B also?
So B2B essentially means आपकी bulk movement of the inventory from A location to B location, right?
Okay.
Say supposing अगर आप कोई FMCG category में है, आपका काफी product की demand है on the GT, MT and modern tools, right? जैसे Reliance, Big Basket, Amazon, Flipkart की POs आपको अगर सर्व करने हैं, तो वहाँ पे आपकी इन्वेंटरी बल्क में मूव होती है.
Okay.
Unlike B2C, which is a direct to consumer, जहाँ पे आप एज ए कंज्यूमर वेबसाइट या किसी भी सोर्स पे जाके जब आप प्रोडक्ट बाय करते हैं, तो आपको एक सिंगल यूनिट या रिस्पेक्टिव यूनिट्स आपके डोर स्टेप पे डिलीवर होती है. So this is a difference between a B2B operation and a B2C operation.
Understood. Nimit, I have a very basic questions because I've been struggling with it.
Right.
So मेरा खुद का एक warehouse है,
Sure.
जिसपे मैंने basically pan-India operations run कर लिया.
Right.
So I have roughly about 1,200 orders on
Right.
marketplaces
Sure.
and 1,000 orders मेरे website पे आते
Sure.
हैं. But so what is scaring me is that why do I really need to outsource? मतलब
Sure.
जरूरत है मेरे को outsource करने की? How do I come to a decision?
Right. So honestly, if you ask me, at what stage of business the fulfillment acquire comes in place, right? My personal suggestion is that it starts from day one, because there's a very big difference when it comes to giving a consumer experience, right? So I'll give you a quick story, just taking a deep dive on your question. So how Shiprocket started with the warehousing was, so we have been into existence for about 10 years into e-commerce space, right?
Correct.
Started up building websites for brands. We call it as Cart Rocket, right?
Okay.
Then parallelly, we also set up a marketplace for small, medium businesses, wherein we were helping them in showcasing their products,
Okay.
right? Then one of our esteemed partners in North India, they're into apparels, they wanted us to create a tech piece in order to solve their entire logistics space, right?
Achha,
And
okay.
that's how Shiprocket was born as a beta product, right?
Okay.
It saw such a great response that the entire focus then went on building Shiprocket, which is an end-to-end e-commerce solutioning for any of the B2C brand or probably the members out there.
Okay.
Right. So with Shiprocket coming in place and members starting using our tech services, we did realize कि क्या क्या problems एक brand को typically face होते हैं जब वो एक inventory अपने warehouse पे रखते हैं.
Correct.
Right.
It is actually very difficult not to
Right.
move my inventory from my controls to someone else.
So, very honestly, it is just right in front of your eyes, not physically but virtually, right?
Okay.
आज आपको पता है कि आपके warehouse में अगर 10,000 यूनिट्स पड़े हैं, वो सेम 10,000 का रिकॉर्ड मैं आपको आपकी स्क्रीन पे आगे देता हूँ. This is through sheer tech that we have built in this, right? So, हमारा जो जो challenges एक brand face करता है, give you an example, जैसे आज आप मान लीजिए 1,000 orders per day पे चल रहे हैं, कल को आपका business 20% growth पे करता है because आपका marketing campaign effectively work कर रहा है.
Correct.
Then you would have to hire a temporary manpower, built-in tech, so that आप make sure कर रहे हो कि आपके error-free orders निकल रहे हैं. So warehousing fulfillment is not just about picking, packing, and dispatching. Right? It's all about how efficiently you're able to do the work in how many minutes or hours of time, and what is your fill rate. Fill rate यहाँ पे मतलब होता है कि आप कितने percentage of the orders 100 कितने percentage of the orders आप अपने warehouse से बिल्कुल seamlessly effectively निकाल पा रहे हैं without any set of orders.
Okay, understood.
Because अगर आपने यहाँ पे एक SKU की जगह दूसरे SKU सेंड कर दिया तो आपका कस्टमर एक्सपीरियंस खराब होता है. उसके साथ साथ आपका PNL भी बिल्कुल एक्सपर्ट होता है. बिकॉज आपका फुलफिलमेंट जो भी आपकी इन हाउस कॉस्ट है उसके बाद फर्स्ट माइल लग जाती है प्रोडक्ट की, लास्ट माइल सॉरी, उसके बाद प्रोडक्ट कस्टमर के पास पहुंचता है, उनका कंज्यूमर एक्सपीरियंस खराब होता है, जिसके बाद वो प्रोडक्ट वापस आपके वेयरहाउस पे आता है.
Correct, correct.
राइट. सो इस
This is
पूरी
what the
journey-
majority of the marketplace also struggling with.
Exactly. So fulfillment is all about कितना सीमलेसली आपने अपना टेक इम्प्लांट करा हुआ है एट द वेयरहाउस एंड आप क्या एफिशिएंसी अपने प्रोसेस में ला पा रहे हो.
Correct.
राइट. कल को आपकी ऑर्डर वॉल्यूम से X% से राइज होती है, बट आप अभी करंट स्केल से XYZ क्यूबिक फीट स्पेस या स्क्वायर फीट स्पेस में आप ऑक्यूपाई करके बैठे हो. बट आप एज अ ब्रांड ओनर आपको अपनी एक्सपर्टीज से फोकस करना है
Correct.
rather than going out in the market and looking out for a space, efficient manpower,
Correct.
setting up processes, which
Correct.
is a huge task, right?
Correct.
And comes with a lot of upfront capex cost, right?
Got it.
Setting up the racks, setting up the cameras, setting up efficient manpower. So all of this comes with a cost, and it becomes easier for brands because ours is a plug and play model,
Got it.
pay as you go model.
Correct.
आज आप 1000 X ऑर्डर्स पे हो, हम आप भी तब भी आपको सर्व करते हैं. आज कल आप X+Y पे ऑर्डर्स पे हो, तब भी हम आपको सर्व कर पा रहे हैं.
Correct.
एट द एंड ऑफ द डे आपको पूरी रिपोर्ट्स मिलते हैं कि आपके कितने परसेंटेज ऑफ द ऑर्डर सेम डे निकल रहे हैं हमारे साथ और क्या इन्वेंटरी एफिशिएंसी है हमारी.
Okay. But Nimit, understood about fulfillment, but I always have heard fulfillment with cost savings.
राइट.
So how is it a cost saving for me? मतलब मेरे operations अगर मैं मेरे warehouse से चला रही हूँ,
राइट.
it's cost saving for me, right? But
Right.
how is it a cost saving? It's a equation.
Cost saving, so fulfillment as a service is cost saving for a brand in both direct and indirect terms, right?
Okay.
अगर मैं डायरेक्ट टर्म्स की बात करूं, आपका सपोजिंगली एज अ ब्रांड ओनर आप एक लोकेशन से आप ऑपरेट कर रहे हैं
Correct.
बिकॉज आपको इन्वेंट्री होल्ड अपने पास देखना है. तो आप अगर आप किसी मेट्रो लोकेशन में हो तो आप एसेंशियली जोन सी और जोन डी में अपने कंज्यूमर्स को प्रोडक्ट डिलीवर कर रहे हैं, राइट.
Correct.
अगर मैं टिपिकल दिल्ली से लुधियाना की बात करूं तो आप जोन डी में अपने
Correct, हाँ,
क्लाइंट्स को
correct.
सर्व कर रहे हैं, राइट. अगर मैं यहाँ से दिल्ली से बैंगलोर की मूवमेंट करूं तो आप जोन सी में आप अपनी मूवमेंट कर रहे हैं, राइट.
Understood.
सो विद फुलफिलमेंट आपको एक रीजनल प्रेजेंस मिलता है हमारे साथ. Wherein बैंगलोर से बैंगलोर में आपको जोन ए चार्ज करता हूँ, बैंगलोर से मैं आपको डाउन साउथ एनीवेयर अपार्ट फ्रॉम केरला में आपको जोन बी चार्ज करता हूँ. दिस इज अनदर वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन दैट यू गेट विद Shiprocket fulfillment.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And indirectly, there are a lot of reasons why a brand should place that inventory usually is because it's all about the consumer experience, right?
Correct.
आज आप एक X रुपीस की कस्टमर एक्विजिशन कॉस्ट लगा के क्लाइंट को या मेंबर को अपनी वेबसाइट पे लाते हैं.
Correct.
बट ड्यू टू द डिलीवरी एक्सपीरियंस आप उनको ऑन एन एवरेज अगर आप एक लोकेशन से ऑपरेट कर रहे हैं, आप रफली पैन इंडिया ऑन एन एवरेज 6 से 7 दिन में कवर कर पा रहे हैं,
Yes.
which is a huge
Yes.
lead time,
Yes.
right? पर अगर आप यही अपने कंज्यूमर को सेम डे नेक्स्ट डे डिलीवरी अगर आप दे रहे हैं तो आपकी वेबसाइट पे रिपीट ऑर्डर्स आने के बहुत चांसेस बढ़ते हैं.
So Nimit, is this a right comment? कि for example मैंने मेरे ट्रेंड में देखा है, but for example मैं orders in Delhi
Right.
because they get delivered faster.
Right.
मेरा RTO percentage is less
Certainly.
and versus different states and
Right.
down south.
So how this works is, in fact, there's a report, basically the industry study that Shopblues did about a couple of years back, right?
Mhm.
And there's a human psyche, and that is the reason Amazon and Flipkart takes a big edge over a brand's website.
What is
Because-
this report about? Could you just
Yeah. So this report says that if you are able to deliver the product faster and if you are placed very closer to the consumer, your RTO reduction is minimum between 1 to 3%.
Oh, nice.
Right. So at the current scale, and even if it's a 2% reduction in RTA, then it's a huge cost saving for you.
Correct.
Right. And also a lot of efforts that puts in delivering or probably attempting an order is saved there. Right.
Got it.
So, and that is the reason why a lot of customers are still dependent on Amazon and Flipkart because of the experience that they're able to.
Yes, I agree.
Right. Say, and very honestly, the market is such competitive कि आपको हर चीज nook and corner पे मिल जाता है, right?
Correct.
Be it an FMCG product, a personal care product, or a healthcare product, whatever it is,
Correct.
right? In order to stand out, you me as an end consumer do go on Amazon to just check if they are able to deliver faster, right?
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
this entire promised delivery that Amazon gives wins your heart and wins your trust.
Totally.
Right.
Totally.
So if me as an end consumer know that an X brand could be able to deliver the product to me the next day,
Correct.
I myself will get the products directly from them because consumer feels connected when they buy from the brand directly.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So this is how the entire structuring is, and we have seen a lot of brands now accepting fulfillment as a service across India in order to be as efficient and as competitive as marketplaces.
Correct. So, Navit, one more question I have, which is around I've been hearing a lot of stories about Shiprocket in the news every day,
Right,
in the media news. A
Right.
lot of acquisitions have happened. Actually, can you just elaborate on the footprint Shiprocket has
Right.
in the entire landscape?
So, since the inception, the founding team had a vision to create an impact on the e-commerce industry. Right? It is studied that by 2027, this industry is going to touch a huge number, right?
Correct. Correct.
Which was never expected
Correct.
as a service, right? So a lot of news has been there in the market, wherein a lot of acquisitions has happened. We have acquired companies like Pixo, Clockle, Spicker, domestic part of Shiplight.
Correct.
And the key aim here is to be one-stop solution and to be as efficient in terms of the services and one-stop solution, wherein right at the time the member comes on your website, right? Even in fact to the journey of getting them to your website till the time the product is handed over to them, the entire piece is very well solved by Shiprocket.
Wonderful.
Right. This includes your marketing automation, proactive communication with the consumers through WhatsApp, right? Giving them proactive notifications around where exactly their order is, right?
Got it.
Servicing and making sure that the right products are delivered to them through our fulfillment services, right? And a lot of data that we are sitting on, right, gives us the best of the efficiencies. So say supposedly you are, as per you, X courier partner performs best in a particular location, right? But with the set of data that we are able to tell you that you can use this courier partner in order to save down the cost and be as efficient.
Correct. Correct.
Right. So we just want to be one single solution for all our members, and I think we are on the right track.
मतलब, I would not be incorrect when I comment that एक manufacturing plant the products manufacture हो रहा है,
Right.
उसको उठा के आप warehouse लेके आते हो,
Absolutely.
storage
I
store
will on this
करते हो.
part, we also do now part truck loads as well. Right?
Oh, wonderful.
We acquired a company called Rocketbox,
Okay.
which is essentially very similar to that of Shiprocket,
Okay.
wherein they're allowing you to be come on the platform and just book part truckload services. Right?
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. A quick question. So, how many warehouses do we have?
Okay. So as we speak, we are available in about 12 cities,
Okay.
covering about 45 plus fulfillment centers.
Okay.
We are running multiple centers within the same geography, right?
Uh-huh.
And not this, through these set of warehouses which are running 24/7, mainly in metro locations, we are able to give you a same day next day delivery experience. Apart from that, we have also started setting up dark stores.
What is
wherein-
dark store?
So dark stores are typically smaller storage space or fulfillment centers from where, and these are located in the heart of the city, right? So
Okay.
your typical warehousing or fulfillment center जो होते हैं वो आपके outskirts में होते हैं.
Correct. Correct.
Because of the simple reason कि आपको city में इतना बड़ा space नहीं मिलता to
I
carry
agree.
out the operations, right? But for these dark stores, these are operated within the city. Say if you're operating anywhere in the Delhi part, right? Say in the western part of Delhi, you'll have a dark stores in about say 10 odd kilometers from yourself,
Correct.
right? From this, you'll be able to deliver the product between 1 to 3 hours of a delivery experience.
Got it. Got it. So I was not aware that Shiprocket has such a huge presence from
Right.
India. Like really happy to know about this.
Right.
one question which keeps on coming to, I mean, all the clients we have spoken to is that, okay, मेरे पास जब marketplace का option है, why will I ideally come to Shiprocket fulfillment?
Right.
They're promising me certain asset of
Right.
SLA. So what is Shiprocket will do for me different?
So how this works is that there's a cost which is involved with inventory holding, right?
Correct.
Say supposedly from your manufacturer, you currently take about 2 months of inventory holding period, right?
Correct.
Which you shall block for a respective marketplace, say X. आपने उनके warehouse में X amount of inventory place कर दी
Correct.
for your own set of channels, that is website, right? Or probably offline business, आपने Y percentage of inventory अपने warehouse में store कर ली.
Correct.
And ये जो X percentage of inventory है आपकी सिर्फ एक ही channel को visible हो रही है.
Correct.
Whereas through Shiprocket fulfillment, you can cover your entire journey. वही same set of inventory can be covered for B2B operations, can be covered for your marketplace orders, can be covered for your website.
So I do not need to segregate inventory for
Exactly.
B2B, B2C.
Exactly. You don't need to segregate
So
any sort of.
which actually beats के मेरा working capital block नहीं होगा.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
So अगर आप देखेंगे तो आप this inventory holding cost lands up to about 13% per annum.
Correct. Correct.
Which can be easily slipped, and you get to utilize your inventory way efficiently because आप batch moment भी follow कर पा रहे हैं, right? You're not blocking your inventory for a specific marketplace.
Got it.
And say supposingly कल को आपका website is performing better than marketplace because of XYZ issues, right? Then you are able to use the inventory, right? But whereas in this particular case, your X percentage of inventory is already blocked. So the inventory hold is not in your control.
So you're trying to say is that कि अगर मेरे पास एक certain set of inventory है, मैं उससे Amazon, Flipkart सारे orders fulfill कर सकती हूँ.
Absolutely.
Oh, wonderful.
So आप जितनी भी marketplace हैं उनके साथ साथ अपने जितने भी offline, online channels हैं सब आप एक ही set of inventory से हमारे warehouse के through serve कर सकते हैं.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, but this is all exciting. But could you just help me understand the brands which have grown with Shiprocket? Because होता क्या है, we go with natural benchmark, right? कि अगर मेरी category में कोई एक particular brand है, so let's start with maybe what excites me is like personal care.
So we are servicing clients on the likes of Mamaearth, MKP, Smitten, Soulflower, right? A lot of them are already associated with us. We have
So you do the website as well as marketplace?
Yes, certainly. They do. They keep their inventory and do all sort of operations. That is marketplaces, B2B as well as B2C operations. Right?
Oh, wonderful.
There's a brand called Smitten that is also associated with us. Right. So they're a trial marketplace for all sort of beauty perspective category. Right. So our set of expertise are not just in any particular category. We are currently servicing all sort of categories that you can think of. Right from your Hindustani Unilever to your brands on the likes of electronic appliances, right?
Okay.
Everyone is associated with Shiprocket, and we do hold the capabilities of processing them.
Oh, so we are doing into heavy movements also, like heavyweight categories.
We are doing office chairs as well, right?
Okay.
We are doing home decor, office chairs are there. All sorts of arrangements are available with us.
So there's no weight cutoff with Shiprocket.
So there is no weight cutoff with us, right?
Oh, this is great. This was, I think I was not aware that there's the weight cutoff with us.
So apparently we are not just servicing your products like which are highly inflammable, pesticides, insecticides. Apart from these, all the categories are already available with Shiprocket's presence.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.
Oh, nice. I buy into the concept. Help me understand that if I come on board with Shiprocket fulfillment, what are the metrics I would be visible to? Like, what is the inward storage and outward? Like, what I will be tracking?
So essentially, when we expect a brand to just make sure that they have the inventory, which can be picked from their warehouse. उस जर्नी से लेके जब तक कंज्यूमर को प्रोडक्ट डिलीवर होता है वो सारी जर्नी हम अपने शोल्डर्स पे लेते हैं, राइट?
Okay.
So if I talk about fulfillment per se, तो आपकी डिफरेंट कॉस्ट होती है which is around inward, which is essentially कि आपका कितने यूनिट्स वेयरहाउस पे आ रहे हैं उसको क्वालिटी चेक करके हम किसी पास किसी फेल आइडेंटिफाई करके we put it on the racks. जब वो racks पे होते हैं we call it as a storage area. Once the inventory is in the storage area and as soon as आपका order लगता है, तो right from the inventory area the picker goes, scans the product, brings it to the packaging station, packs it as per the set of SOPs that you have in place, right? Pays the label, invoice, all sort of activities are done at the warehouse. Does a weight check wherein we put the products on a weight machine, capture what exactly is the weight for the particular AWB, right?
Okay.
And उसके बाद वो product handover हो जाता है courier partner. So we give you SLAs on the likes of the आपके 4 बजे तक के सारे ऑर्डर्स में सेम डे प्रोसेस करता हूँ, राइट?
Okay.
You get a 99.8% inventory accuracy, right? You get a 99.9% error free order processing, wherein आपके 99.9% cases में orders बिल्कुल correct जाएंगे,
Okay.
right? Our filtrage is very competitive as compared to the industry, जहाँ पे हम 0.08% की ही filtrage ले रहे हैं,
Oh, wonderful.
right? So ये सारे expectations है जो हम clients को offer कर पाते हैं
And
through
what
our
is-
set of tech.
What do we generally maintain an order to shipment pack?
So हमारा order to shipment रहता है basis on the cutoff, right? 4 p.m. all the orders that you receive will be handed over to the courier partner without any fee,
Oh, wonderful.
right? So essentially within 8 hours your entire fulfillment journey order to hand over is very well complete.
Understood.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Most exciting question, since we are in the months towards heading towards festival, there are a lot of marketplace days lined
Right.
up.
Right.
There is Diwali lined up. So last year, what happened was that mere warehouse when I was operating, right? So I lost a lot of volumes because I
Right.
couldn't handle the surge of volumes.
Right.
So I lost a lot of revenue which I could earn. How does Shiprocket is all geared up to handle this big volumes?
So with the pace that we are growing and with the network that we have, right,
Correct.
we are very well able to handle all sorts of demand in place
Mhm.
because of the buffer space that we keep at any given point of time.
Okay.
Right. So currently we are at a 2 million plus square feet of warehousing space, right?
Okay.
Which is spread across 45 facilities. And within the metros, we have centers at a vicinity of about 4 kilometers. And we make sure that even if there's a surge in demand which is unplanned,
Uh-huh.
we are able to bring the manpower to one location and then process your orders, right? This gives you a huge flexibility because we have our own WMS that is built, proprietary software that is built, right?
Okay.
So through the software, we are able to map the efficiencies of each and every picker, the packer, the one who is doing the inwarding. Through these set of efficiencies, we are able to deliver at the most optimum speed to any brand.
Okay.
And since the operations are running 24/7, manpower procurement at Shiprocket fulfillment is not at all a concern. And with the advanced tech, we are able to prioritize our actions, serve the set of orders which are very closer to the SLA reach to avoid any sort of business loss that you can have.
Understood. Understood. So, Nimit, this all sounds exciting. One last question I have is that what next? As a seller, I get onboarded with you.
Right.
What next for me? Like, how do we grow the business together?
Right. So we at Shiprocket aim to convert your entire supply chain in a maximum of 2 days time, right?
Mhm.
And ये हम कैसे कर पा रहे हैं? We are able to do this through giving a 1 to 3 hour delivery experience, right? We are
Okay.
able to do it through a same day next day delivery experience, wherein we have list of inputs that we'll be able to attend within the same day itself, right?
Okay.
And with the advanced courier performance and the courier data that we have, the last mile data that we have,
Mhm.
we are able to efficiently select on a courier partners that is able to deliver the product within the expectations.
Understood.
Right. So with the entire tech and the data intelligence in place, right? We want to empower D2C and make sure maximum of your orders are delivered in just 2 days of time, which is as good as what Amazon
Correct,
delivers. Right?
You guys anyways have a strong presence, so
Absolutely.
I think 48 hours is the max start.
Exactly. Exactly. And also, one interesting thing that we started is promise deliveries, right?
Okay.
So we call it as Project Rush, wherein we are able to give definite timelines that we'll be able to deliver the product. Right?
wonderful.
It's very similar to that you see on Amazon, wherein the moment you put in your PIN code, हम आपको बताते हैं कि अगर आप 2 घंटे में ऑर्डर करते हो तो मैं इसको 24 hours में डिलीवर कर पाता हूँ. And this
Okay.
is based on the intelligence that which courier partner has a pickup aligned with us at what time,
Okay.
right? What is their set of KRAs and KPIs in terms of serviceability. This is that we are able to give a short commitment there.
Understood.
Right.
Understood.
So 4 p.m. orders, as I mentioned, we hand over the same day.
Mhm.
If there are set of orders which are after 4 p.m.
Mhm.
and are falling in the 120 list of inputs that we are covering from Delhi, for example,
Got it.
then these are picked up by 8 p.m. the next day, 8 a.m. the next day.
Mhm.
From there, it goes to the sorting station and goes for the end delivery.
Got
So
it.
essentially, it's not even 24 hours in which you'll be able to have your product.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Right. So, and as you know, majority of your orders आपके रात में orders call करते हैं, right?
Hmm.
वो रात वाले orders हम prioritize करके सुबह hand over करते हैं, जिसके through हम आपको same day experience दे पाते हैं.
Oh, this is great.
Right.
Anything would you want to let the audience know that Shiprocket, which I've not asked you any inputs, but Shiprocket is doing different?
So in this case, it's all about, I would say, the tech and the
Yes, yes,
energy
yes.
that we have put in, right?
Correct.
To make sure that we are able to set the benchmark in the industry, right?
Got it.
And as I said, we are servicing about 700 plus members. Our footprint in last 2.5 years has been amazing, right?
Correct.
This 45 plus fulfillment centers, and with the aim of having 100 plus dark stores
Mhm.
and about 50 plus warehouses within this financial year, I think our presence will be a lot more stronger. We are evolving day by day, right?
Correct. Correct.
We are solving each and every piece through tech.
Correct.
And I think that's what each and every member wants at the end of the day.
Got it.
A trusted partner who's in the industry to solve the problems. And I think that's what we are known for.
Absolutely. So guys, this was Nimit answering all of the questions. We'll quickly move to the Q&A session. So Nimit, any views about Logistics 5.0? Like I've heard that Shiprocket is also trying to explore that we are planning to, forecast inventory from a seller's perspective.
Right.
That what, for example, I'm some ex-client and Shiprocket tells me कि आपका refill करने का time आ चुका है,
Right.
and this is the order projection project. Do you have any plans for
So
that?
we are building this entire ecosystem around inventory projection.
Okay.
Right, wherein we are able to mention or give an information to the brands that this is the set of SKUs जो आपके इस geography में इतनी efficiently operate करते हैं.
Correct.
Right. So basically, smart intelligence, we'll also be able to give you a dummy ASM.
Got it.
ASM typically means an advanced shipment note, wherein you inform that आप इतने SKUs और इतनी quantities warehouse में send कर रहे हैं.
Okay.
So basically, intelligence हम आपको एक dummy ASM बना के देते हैं.
Okay.
And you can check कि आप कितनी inventory units आपको उस ASM के हिसाब से हमें transfer कर सकते हैं.
Wonderful.
And while everyone is evolving, right? पहले के warehouses में इतना tech oriented नहीं था. Everything was manual picking, right? आपने एक sheet पे अपनी pick list बनाई, आप पूरे warehouse में घूम के उसे pick करें.
Correct.
But in our cases, everything is through tech, right? हमारी designing ऐसी रहती है कि जो भी pick करने जा रहा है, उसको सबसे पहले nearest location पे product pick करें, and they get to follow a path which saves down time, right? तो वहां पे जो एग्जीक्यूटिव रहते हैं वो पहले लोकेशन स्कैन करते हैं, फिर प्रोडक्ट स्कैन करते हैं, फिर बिन स्कैन करते हैं.
करेक्ट.
दैट्स हाउ वी मेक श्योर कि हम एरर फ्री ऑर्डर निकाल पाए.
गॉट इट.
कोई भी अगर हम रॉन्ग लोकेशन या रॉन्ग प्रोडक्ट स्कैन कर रहे हैं तो हमें उसको पिक करने की अलाउंस नहीं मिलती. राइट.
ओके.
एंड नाउ द एंटायर शिफ्ट इज टुवर्ड हाउ वी कैन ऑटोमेट ऑल दिस, राइट?
Correct.
While we are a lot far from this, what we call as fulfillment 5.0, which is essentially bringing a lot of robotic technologies, belts in place in order to be very much faster in the terms of processes. I think we'll be able to solve this in the near future.
Wonderful.
Right.
So Namit, we'll just pick up quick questions. The first question is that do we actually go and run the warehouses? Like for example, I'm a client.
Right.
Will you come and run my warehouses?
Certainly. So we are a new gen service provider, right? Okay. Wherein if you feel that as a brand you have ample space available with you, but you don't want to get into the hassle of running an operation, and we do take the opportunity to come and run your warehouse.
Oh, wonderful.
Right? Wherein हम अपनी tech, अपनी efficiencies, manpower, सारे processes set up करते हैं, and we are able to give you the set of SLA that we promise at our facility, right?
Okay.
So this is something that we are already doing for a couple of our partners across India.
Oh, have you been doing this in the past?
Yeah, we've been doing this. Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Quick question. Can we have non-GST sellers on Shiprocket? Or do we have a facility in which just make the sellers go with the GST process forward?
So GST is mandatory for the respective state that you would want to opt for, right?
Correct.
जैसे आप मान लीजिए आज आप दिल्ली से ऑपरेट करें बट आपको बैंगलोर में रिक्वायरमेंट है, तो जब आप बैंगलोर से ऑर्डरशिप करते हैं तो आपको वहां का इनवॉइस जनरेट होता है because you add our addresses in as an additional place of business.
Correct.
Right. So we have explored synergies with a few partners that allows brand to get a GST.
Could you just tell the audience whether the partners and how
right.
they help?
So we have partners like GetMyCA, InstaSpaces. They work on a virtual place of business. Okay. With a set of documents, the members are able to get the GSTs in place, right? Which is the very first and the mandatory process for getting the fulfillment business started.
Perfect. We also have a very interesting question. what are the actual costs involved if I opt in fulfillment?
Right.
मतलब अब हमारा basically billing कैसे आता है?
So it's a postpaid bill, right? And
Okay.
as I mentioned, ये plug and play model है, जिसके अंदर आप जितनी set of services हमारे साथ लेते हैं,
Mm-hmm.
उसकी basis पे आपको charge होता है.
Hmm.
The commercial starts as at 18 rupees and go as less as basis your order volumes and the requirement that you have.
Okay. Okay.
But it's a flexible model जहाँ पे आपको कोई upfront cost नहीं देना हमें.
Uh-huh.
हम month के end में आपका invoice generate करते हैं, within 7 working days आप उसको pay करते हैं, and that's how the structuring is.
Okay. We also have an interesting question that a seller is asking that how do I transfer material from my place to warehouses? It's going to be a cost for the seller also, right? To
That's
transfer from their particular location to at a Shiprocket fulfillment center.
That's right.
So how does the entire ecosystem work?
So how this works is that abhi, while we were solving a lot around the B2C part, right?
Mhm.
We have recently started building up a tech piece around partner loads, right? Wherein members from their warehouse could book our services for partner load and move the inventory to our location. Another interesting question that you asked is कि अगर मैं post mile के लिए भी cost bear कर रही हूँ and then मेरा last mile का भी लग रहा है, but you see that there's a difference in the last mile commercial that you'll be correct, right?
Correct.
आप पहले zone D, zone C पे operate कर रहे थे, अब आप zone A और B पे operate कर रहे हैं,
Correct.
right? यहाँ पे अगर आप first mile के लिए आप X rupees per kg पे अगर आप pay कर रहे हैं, but this all boils down to what sort of consumer experience you are able to give,
Correct.
right? You are able to save in this case also and give a better consumer experience. That's
Correct.
all the purpose of it, right?
Correct. I really hope, Neha, that answers the question. Is there a specific dashboard on which I get and complete access to how the
Absolutely.
fulfillment happens?
Absolutely. So Shiprocket has created an independent dashboard just for fulfillment view of their members, right? Wherein we are able to give them the real-time update on the inventory. What exactly is the status of each and every order, right? They can download all sort of reports from the panel itself, right? It also gives you a pictorial representation of which demand pocket is performing how for you, right? And then what exactly has been the trend for the ASN, for the inward and the outward, right? So there's a detailed tech piece that we have built so that members just have to look at one single screen and make sure that the action is going.
Wonderful. So any area which is not serviceable, how do you guys tackle those?
So in this case, for non-serviceable zones, right, we always have the intelligence around this and get to add the courier partners who are able to deliver it over there, right? So we sit on a huge pool of 27 plus courier partners, 27,000 plus pin codes serviced by about 17 plus courier partners. Right?
Oh, wonderful.
Through this network and through regional presence, we are able to do that.
Okay. Right. This is an interesting question. I think we already answered that. Do we cater to the products weighing greater than 5 kg? Right. And I think the answer is yes, right? There's no weight cutoff we've put as such. We're going forward with higher weight categories
exactly.
as well.
That's right.
So I had this question. So how do we tackle insurances, steps, and all this in terms of the back end part of it?
So all the products are insured. So we have taken a blanket insurance at all our facilities, right? In case of any mishap or act of God, we are able to protect our members by providing certain set of proofs, right? So their inventory is insured under the commercials and the structuring that we have in place. Okay. Okay. Yes. I think there's a lot of questions are rotating around returns. Like the majority of the questions are returns, and how are the question is basically are RTOs handled marketplace wise? Right. Like Stampede RTO versus Amazon. How do we handle that? So how this works is that RTO once received at the warehouse are inverted within 48 hours. So this RTO inverting happens under CCTV surveillance. We are able to see whether the product is received in the intact condition or not. Okay. Right. If at all the product is not in a great state, then we raise it to the courier partner and get the resolution done. If in case the RTO is very perfectly in the condition, we add it back to the inventory for it to be re-inventorized and then used for the next of the orders. Okay, understood. Yes. There's a interesting question by Mr. Poppy. I'm in Kerala, but nearest Shiprocket warehouse is in Tamil Nadu.
I have only GST registration in Kerala. Is it possible to store in the Tamil Nadu warehouse?
So unfortunately,
Good question, huh?
we would be needing the GST for Tamil Nadu itself.
Correct,
Right.
correct.
Because essentially that is the place जहाँ से आपके invoice generate हो रहे हैं, right?
Mhm.
And our address will be going out on the invoices, which is actually your address as well.
Correct,
Right?
correct,
Because we are giving you the services at the end of the day.
correct.
So unfortunately, you would have to take the GST for Tamil Nadu.
Correct. There's a question: is the entire flow from receiving an order on the website to get it shipping automated or get it synced? We have confirm on Shiprocket portal to get it delivered. It's absolutely,
Absolutely
present,
there.
right? It's absolutely there. That demo dashboard is already there. I think we've picked up most of the questions. Any other questions, guys? There's a quick question. Last question. Somebody's asking that can I get a document or a website link when I have details about the cost involved in the fulfillment operations and like storage processing? Do you have a standard document wherein I can just post my audience about how do we, does it take the pricing? Can I have some details
Surely,
around it?
we can, if you could share your email ID on the chat screen, we'll be able to share our set of terms and the commercial that we operate on.
Oh, there's one more question that can I visit Shiprocket warehouse, Mumbai warehouse to see my inventory and corridor products? How do I set up the, so how do I
Absolutely.
plan a warehouse basically?
You're most welcome because essentially you are the owner of the inventory. Right?
Correct.
You can take a prior appointment through your account manager for you to visit the facility and have a look at the operations.
Correct. Mr. Rajat is asking a question that basically how do you guys deal with FMCG category like makhans, oils?
Yes, we are already servicing clients who are into these categories, right?
Okay.
For butter, we would require a temperature controlled setup, which we already have in our warehouses.
Correct.
So we can very well cater to all sort of categories over there.
Okay, perfect. Mr. Preetham is asking a question that what costs are involved if we opt in for Shiprocket fulfillment? I think we answered the cost typically. And what is the maximum cost for each so that I can have a better idea to consider fulfillment?
So as I mentioned, fulfillment as a service is a plug and play and a
Correct.
pay as you go for it, right?
Correct.
So basically your current trend of RTO, customer returns, inward and outward, you can land up to a cost. I would love to speak to them, love to speak to you over a call or probably over an email to explore synergies and review where all we can save costs and what all are the parameters on which the commercials would be.
So team will be sharing a detailed link in which we can have a detailed discussion after this as well. Next question is that do you have international shipping facilities for overseas marketplaces?
Yes, exactly. We do international shipping from our warehouses as well.
So how is the storage calculated? A very interesting question.
So again, storage. So we want to be very flexible in terms of our services, right? And hence storage is calculated based on the total space your product occupies and the total number of days they are kept at.
Okay.
So say supposingly you start on the 1st of the month, right? And by 10th, your entire inventory is out of stock with us, right? And there is, say, some reason because of which the inventory is not connected for next 2 days with us, right? So we essentially would only charge you for the time period wherein the inventory was available with us.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
So
you don't dedicate a specific
Exactly.
space
So
for me in the warehouse.
we don't dedicate the space to anyone, right? And we give them a flexibility to expand as and when they want to go, right? Because if we dedicate a space to them, but their requirement is say just 1/4 of what we are able to dedicate, right?
Correct.
Then they unnecessarily end up paying a lot more than what they could have saved.
Okay.
So this is on a pay as you go model. Whatever space you are utilizing and for the number of days storage fee is calculated. Hence it is on a pro rata basis.
Understood. There's another question I was actually, I hope Sudeep this answers your questions as well. There's a question I had, I was just going through the question list that if I'm a seller and I don't opt for last mile services, I don't only opt fulfillment or vice versa. Is it okay to be with Shiprocket?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We would love to be a part of probably all and some of the supply chain, right?
Correct. So Sri Harsh has asked a question that when the inventory is kept at Shiprocket, how do you manage the legal structure of the stock movement? Should the brand register the warehouse as APOB or a separate FSI license at every location? Certainly. Or Shiprocket does it for us?
So in this case, the brand usually takes up the GST as our address is an additional place of business.
Correct.
We provide all sort of supporting documents for you to do the action. And also when it comes to FSI, it is specific to each location.
Correct.
So you have to apply for the FSI. and we at Shiprocket will be able to give you all sort of supporting documents there.
Got it. I hope Shreya that Nimitta answered your question. Vaidik has asked a question that how are we different for B2B deliveries for like internal locations of a retailer, like from factory to distributor or to retail merchants? How do you manage this?
So in this case, it's all about how efficiently you're able to use your set of inventory, right? If you are directly sending the inventory from your manufacturing plant, the same can be done through the set of inventory which is already available, right? Since supposing your manufacturing plant is in, say, Tirupur, right? And your member or probably the distributor is in up north, say in Delhi or Gurgaon, then in order to reduce down the lead time, you can always use the set of inventory which would already be kept at the northern part of India.
Okay.
Right.
Correct.
So you can utilize, it's all about utilizing your inventory at any given point of time.
We have got a very interesting question by Mr. Balakrishnan, and this is one of my favorite questions I've been asked by the couple of sellers in the past. That will I get an Amazon Prime tag if I keep the inventory at your warehouse?
So in this case, if you are on a sellerflex model,
correct,
since we run compliant warehouses as per the norms, Flipkart, Amazon, and all of the partners wants. Once your sellerflex is activated, right, all our facilities are already on sellerflex, and you do get a Prime badge enabled with us.
So I hope Mr. Baladas answers questions. Another question is the commercials negotiable? We find your storage and pickup costs a bit high.
Certainly, we would love to solve for that and give you the best of the rates that helps you in providing a better consumer experience and also save down on the cost. So you can just mention your email ID and we can get in touch to discuss this in length.
Perfect. One more question. Again, one of my favorites. Is there a minimum order quantity at particular warehouse level?
Quantity, right?
Okay.
This service is for any member who is doing a few hundred orders to a few thousand orders in a month, right?
Correct.
So one and all could avail the services with us.
Correct. So Sudeep, thank you for this question. So I personally, took care of this part. So basically, when the organization has a growth spree, we're trying to put some cutoffs, but we have made a conscious call that there will be no cutoff across any category, any brand, any place. So even if you do one single order in a month, we are welcoming you that please come to Shiprocket Fulfillment. Vaidik is asking a question, do you do B2B deliveries?
Yes.
Definitely we answer all the questions. I think we've answered most of the questions. And guys, we still have time. Any questions we have, we're definitely the chat window and the chat Q&A is all open. We can wait for a while and answer the questions. There's a question that the Shiprocket provide distribution facility in USA. Example, pre-sale storage for Amazon USA. Can we actually? So basically, this standard question we get, right? So do we do fulfillment for like Flipkart enabled or Amazon enabled, like the shipments to them?
So if this question is around if we'll be able to give them services like abroad, then currently we haven't reached there.
Correct.
We are expanding our roots in India, and once that piece is solved, we will love to expand to the international markets.
I hope Shreya that answers the questions, but this also gets to another question: that do we do FBA prep or?
Yes, we do. We do.
So what is involved in that?
So FBA prep services or probably a PO that is to be sent to Amazon, right? It's very similar to that of a B2B activity.
Okay.
Where in a box, in and out activities happening based on the requirement Amazon gives you.
Correct.
Right. So all sort of label-based thing that Amazon requires, which we call it as eSIM,
correct,
are done at the warehouse. We also do appointment deliveries at the center, right? So say supposedly Flipkart asks you to deliver a product on particular date and particular time, they are able to do this. Right?
Perfect.
So prep services, essentially B2B activities are taken care of the warehouse.
Perfect. Anything, Nimit, you want to let the audience know? The typical sales pitch which attracts the people to come towards Shiprocket.
So I think my 2 cents on this is that it's all about how you want to give the best of the consumer experience and how soon you would want to make your supply chain totally tech enabled, right?
Correct.
And that's the 2 question that any brand owner wants to solve, right? And I think we have already solved it for you guys. So we look forward to be a part of the growing journey with you guys.
Correct. So, guys, I think So, guys, I am sure we had a very interesting session. Nimit answered each and every question what we're posing on him, and these are the rough gist of what we've seen in the past couple of years when we were driving to fulfillment. We're looking forward to work with you all, grow the business together, and make Shiprocket fulfillment a big picture altogether. If any doubts, any questions you guys have, there's a link in the description which is already being forwarded. Feel free to shoot out any emails, any questions to us. Thank you so much.